Welcome to Redacted, a podcast about video games and video game-related things, and generally just all sorts of gaming-related things. I'm Shawn. This week we have EJ.
Hi.
Tim.
Yo, yo, yo.
Chris.
What up?
And Nader.
What's up?
So we'll do the releases. Tim, you've got the list on that one.
Somewhere.
There's a list.
I was not prepared. All right, so the gaming releases for the week of February 17th are we got DOA 5, Last Round on the PS4, Xbone and PS3, Pillar on PS4, The Order 1886 on PS4.
Oh, I'm waiting for that one.
Paparazzi for the Wii U. I could have sworn I already announced that one.
It may have gotten pushed back. We can check into that.
Kirby and the Rainbow Curse on the Wii U.
Looks very good.
X-Cave for 3DS. Adventure Bar Story for the 3DS. Flap Flap for the 3DS.
Wait. That's FLAP, right?
Yeah, Flap.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
Flap.
Fap. Flap.
That's an entirely different
Flap.
that's a
Flappy
different
Bird 2?
platform.
I don't know what it is.
I'm
So
hoping for Flappy Bird too.
and now we got PC. All right, David, Total War Attila, Morningstar Descent to Deadrock, Idle Hands, Mystery of shit.
Mystery of shit.
Mystery of Neuschwanstein.
What?
I'm sorry, one more time?
One more time? With feeling.
Neuschwanstein. I think that's how you pronounce it. Mystery of Neuschwanstein.
Schwanstein.
Schwanstein.
Frankenstein.
Watch be some like normal American word that you just can't pronounce.
Sometimes I feel like computer games, like they just set up a dartboard with random words and just...
Agarist Generation of War 2. Medieval Engineers. Men of War Assault Squad 2 Iron Fist. Camera Obscura. Rescue Team. The Book of Unwritten Tales 2. Hector. Pixel Puzzles 2 Birds. And
Congratulations, PC. You win. You get all of that.
and Hero of the Kingdom 2.
How about that PC Master Race?
I was just going to say.
God. That's amazing.
That was a chore to read that.
It was a chore to listen to that. Listeners, I'm sorry.
He fights Zeitgeist with polite might. Shit.
What? Did you just have a
It's
stroke?
one of those tongue loosening exercises. He fights Zeitgeist with polite might.
So you
I
can,
feel like Lynn should have done that before.
Get out.
That's another show. Anyway,
How Now Brown Cow?
Well, for me, I mean, out of all those, I think the one I'm most excited for was
The Order. Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm right there with you on that one. I mean, after like one of the big releases I was looking forward to was Evolve. That came out last week. This past week we're recording on a Sunday.
I've heard really mixed things about that game.
Here's the thing: in the 20 minutes I got to play it since Tuesday.
I heard you got your shit pushed in.
Well, here's what happened. My sister got my wife, myself, herself, and my brother all a copy.
Pregnant?
What?
Pregnant?
Yeah, pregnant. No, she bought
incest.
4 copies for the 4 of us, so we all had a group to play with because it's a very co-op group.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah,
it's only fun if you have people.
And,
It's super
exactly.
tactical, too.
It is. It really is. And that might be part of the problem because my sister doesn't do a lot of tactical stuff. And there's a whole group cooperation. You really have to be comfortable with what each person's abilities are, and you really have to kind of
And they have to be able to fill
stuff.
the correct role in the
Right.
So they
party.
really maximized, because I remember reading a lot about it. Like they really maximized the tactical.
Yeah, it's
requirement.
Left for Dead 3 is really what it is. But as far as like roles and everything, it's a little more padded out.
Like
obviously,
they actually have roles instead of just a bunch of people. with
Because I was
guns.
gonna say, because like
because
I feel like that's a bad comparison, because I don't feel like Left 4 Dead was very tactical.
At the end of the day,
it was and
it's-
it wasn't.
It's
You
12
could
different
kinda make it
characters
that way,
and
but it didn't need to
4
be.
different monsters.
Okay.
With like 4 different game modes.
Yeah. However, what we found is now I wasn't the one hosting, so I don't know what the advanced hosting options are. But we've got a friend of ours who apparently got it on Tuesday, the same day we got it. But we didn't have any time to play it till yesterday, being Saturday. So we literally got through we got through the tutorials and had been playing for literally 10 minutes. So we're all level 2. Okay. This friend of ours, a friend of mine and V's, who were
and mine
and yours, yes. Well,
come on.
yeah.
I don't know this person.
No, you don't. He thanks for making this difficult. Anyway, he's a little more of a hardcore gamer. He's been playing since Tuesday, so he's level 18. We are at level 2. Now, if he comes in as the monster, we can't kill him, and he has all this stuff on.
Well, why don't you just buy your way to max level?
Oh god, can you do that?
Fuck was that?
Through can't you do that through some like buying option that 2K invented?
I didn't see, and I didn't check for it. But the problem we were having was when he was in with the hunters. You're level 2 you're starting out as like the base monster. You've got like no points to spend. You can't use any of the advanced stuff. You're the basic monster. So I was playing as the monster, and he could move faster than I could. So he was up my butt.
And I'm guessing he
time.
one-shotted you. And
no, it wasn't that bad, but it was
Okay.
just one of those things where I couldn't get far enough away. I couldn't stop to eat to evolve. I couldn't get anywhere safe to evolve. And it seemed like he was constantly behind me. Because he was constantly behind me, the rest of the hunters were following suit pretty quickly. And yeah, his stuff was all powered up pretty good. Then on top of that, when he was the monster, yeah, there's no way. There's no way. He was using like his favorite one, and I'm not faulting the guy for it. I just don't think he was really thinking about it. My sister got through like 2 rounds. He was playing as like one of the like ultra like the flare sort of Cthulhu looking one.
Okay.
And it can teleport and all this stuff. We're like all level 2. Like our guns aren't leveled up. We've been playing for 20 minutes. So there's obviously a balance issue, but I didn't get a chance to check and see if there was a way to limit level or invite only, because if we could have done invite only, no offense to him, it would have been invite only.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's the level cap?
I don't know if there is
It's
one.
not a level cap. It's a progressive ladder. You know how like weapons leveled up in like the Battlefield games?
Yeah, it's not
yeah.
like that.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you level up, you get like a new weapon or a new skill, and then when you get a new character, each class has 3 different characters, and each character has a different skill set.
Yeah,
Okay.
but like for instance, you have to level up all of the weapons on one character to unlock the next tier character. Then you then you level up those weapons to get to the next level, the next character rather. So that way you start to get like an option list as far as who you're using and what their abilities are and whatnot to a slight extent. But
A little bit more strategy involved.
exactly. But the thing is, I'm starting with the base. My gun is what my gun is. But we played 2 rounds before my sister pretty much like rage quit. And she's like, "Hey, I'm having connection issues," and went and played Minecraft.
I could see if they have matchmaking for Gen Pop.
I think there is.
I would see that they try at least try to like make it sort of like everyone coming in at the same level.
Which is why I'm not faulting the game. I think really because he's on my friends list, it was just, oh yeah, no, you're in.
Yeah,
and that while that is a balance issue, that may be something that again I haven't been able to really dig into the settings. That may be something we may be able to fix on the back end,
or just have like friends on your friends list and be like, hey, look, don't come in as like this super powered monster.
He came in mid battle on one. I didn't even realize it was him until the end of that battle, and I'm hearing him in the group because I was playing as the monster in that particular one. When you're playing as the monster, you can't hear the other 4, which is a good call.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. That's
Realistically, the one thing I do want to see them fix, though, hopefully in a patch, is during the loading screens, you can't hear anybody.
Oh,
yeah,
that's bad.
like I don't know how many times we were like. Well, I can't say too many times because we were playing for very long. But we'd go into a loading screen, and we'd be mid sentence, and
the chat would just cut out.
Yeah, just everything cuts out.
And that's party chat on the PS4, right?
That was the in-game chat. There was also a bit of a level issue. My sister, her headset, and she in general is just a loud person, and that's fine. I actually had to have her take her mic input down a little bit, and it was I could still hear it, like
popping,
like going up and hitting off of like the gain high end. Like it would crackle a little at the higher ends. And my wife was hearing the same thing. But when we went back to regular PlayStation chat in Minecraft, we went and joined her in a little bit to calm, after she calmed down.
Calm down. Play some Minecraft.
There wasn't any problems. So it's definitely something about how Evolve is handling the in-game chat.
The in-game chats for most games are pretty trash.
Yeah, they are.
I've noticed that. I've noticed that with Destiny a lot, where like the in-game chat is terrible.
Yeah, like half the time I can't even understand anybody what they're saying.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sometimes you don't want to anyway, though.
But that's.
Most of the times you don't.
But I mean,
like
in
friends.
in Destiny, you'll have some people coming in super low. other people coming in super high.
Yeah.
You can't talk to each other when it's loading. It's really hit and miss with the end
Yeah, I
game
know. I
chat.
have to say I had a slight similar issue in in Borderlands pre-sequel actually during the loading screens. It wouldn't completely cut out, but I'm sitting next to my wife on the couch, and we're both using headsets, so there is a little bit of a barrier there. So I do need to actually be in a chat to be able to hear her. But what'll happen is, like for instance, in Borderlands 2 and pre-sequel, their loading screens. I guess it's because it's so much data traffic. I'll hear her physically through, outside of my headset talking. And then like 5 seconds later, I'll hear it. And there's that big delay. And then a couple of times it'll either cut off a chunk of it or you'll almost hear it like super compressed.
Yeah, because it's prioritizing the game loads.
And I can understand for loading, that's what it needs. Now, is that the case with Evolve? Maybe. I mean, visually it's a very specific game.
It depends on how much it has to actually talk to the system.
It's true.
I kind of always just use the PlayStation chat. I don't know if I'm.
I'm in the same boat. In fact, we when we were doing that yesterday with Minecraft, my brother who had just gotten into Minecraft, and we just got him a PS4 over the holiday. He pops in. We see him join the Minecraft, and like, oh, we can't. Oh, right, he doesn't know we're in a game chat.
Yeah,
and it was open. He could have joined, but I don't think he. So we saw him pop in. We didn't see him on the map because it was a new map, so we were off somewhere else.
No, it was the same map. I was in that game.
No, it wasn't. No.
It wasn't the same map.
It wasn't the same map we had played before. We created that map yesterday.
Well, no, he was on the same map that we were on.
No, he was on our same map, but it wasn't a familiar map. So we had already moved on to another location and started building, whereas he popped into where you pop into generically in the world. So he doesn't see anybody. He can't hear anybody. So we see him connect, and like 2 minutes later, we see him disconnect. We're like, why didn't he? Oh, right. Someone sent him an invite.
Yeah.
And it's not like it was invite only. He just didn't know about it. But yeah, I'm in the same boat with the PlayStation chat application seems to handle it a lot cleaner. Mm-hmm. So I just prefer that.
The PlayStation chat is still pretty bad.
It's getting bad. It's not so bad.
I don't have too many complaints with it.
The only problem I've ever had with it.
It's still at least a second behind.
But that's just the nature of the beast.
Again, that's sort of latency.
It's the nature of the beast, but it could be anywhere from a second to 3 seconds behind.
Yeah, that is true.
Which is a problem, and it still has that compression cutoff point where if two people are talking at the same point, it will prioritize one person over the other.
Yeah.
I have noticed that, yeah.
Which is a problem. It's a huge problem, especially when
if you're doing something like with some sort of strategical element,
like with Evolve,
rating, yeah, or with Evolve, Destiny rating, any of that, yeah.
Like you need to be able to hear everybody and have it be fairly accurate in their timing.
Yeah,
which is what I hate the party chat for. I
will accept a 1 second delay once you get into the area of like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Then you start having a problem because you're right. Because like countdown for Crota.
Yeah.
If that's 5 seconds behind, 3 seconds behind, you're done.
Yeah, like when we're raiding Crota and when we're actually on Crota, we do a countdown for rockets. And it's either Lucy or I doing the countdown for rockets. And I've found that if I do like 3, 2, 1 rockets and we fire on rockets, and if I fire on rockets, I don't see another rocket for at least another 2 seconds
because of the delay.
Because of the delay. So I've taken to the point where when I do my countdowns, I have to like wait another second or two before I do whatever action I'm calling out to do, and that's in party chat. And with the time, with the way that Destiny's going right now, where it's very timing based,
extremely timing based,
it's starting to become a problem,
based.
and it's starting to get to the point where I kind of want everyone to get on like vent.
Yeah, well,
and I don't like C3.
It was worth a try.
It's worth a try.
I like C3 is a vent style, TeamSpeak style sort of, and it's PC based. It's in beta. It's been in beta for 3 years.
I always like TeamSpeak more, but everyone else thought it was an idiot.
We actually tried. We actually tried it recording this episode last week. This particular episode last week, and unfortunately, it was unusable.
There were delays.
Yeah.
There was
really?
It was a solid second and a half behind us talking. So there would be like everyone would like say something, and then there'd be like a 3 second pause because one of us was waiting for someone else to say something.
Oh,
it was just static.
There were delays. There was the compression overtalk thing going on, like with Hangouts or Skype, And like as far as I could remember, I haven't used Vent in a while since pretty much my rating days of WoW, but I don't ever remember any of those issues with Vent.
No, Vent was always pretty good about that.
The
never
problem
really
with
used
Vent, if I remember correctly, is you have to have someone basically running their own server.
You either have to rent
Yeah,
a
you
server.
do.
Something.
You either have to rent a server or have somebody hosting a server.
Yeah.
I can.
And I think there's public ones, but they suck.
Yeah.
They
Well,
do. Yeah,
they're,
no, they
going
do.
to get
They're-
overloaded, and they're not going to be
They're
maintained as
unusable.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, I can, and we'll talk about this later because I was talking about doing my own Minecraft server anyway. I certainly have the bandwidth and the space to do something as simple as a Vent server. So we'll talk about that off mic. But
I remember back in the day, I used to use Roger Wilco.
I remember Roger Wilco.
I've never used that.
I
I've
didn't
used
think there
Vent
was
and
any delay on
TeamSpeak.
that.
There, it wasn't, especially for the time, because Roger Wilco's old.
Yeah, it's very.
But especially for the time, yeah, no, there wasn't really a lot of delay.
No.
It was actually a really decent audio software.
I never used Roger Wilco. I started with TeamSpeak. I wasn't in a progression rating guild at the time, so TeamSpeak was acceptable. It was just it was a casual guild. that I was in.
I see. I've never done any of the
Filthy casuals.
hardcore stuff.
So once I started getting into the progression rating guilds, you had to have Ventrilo. It was Ventrilo or get the fuck out.
Well,
Yeah.
I just was never the guy that wrangled everyone together for the communication, so I was always like, whatever you guys use, I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah, and like I'll look at some of these guilds that would call themselves progression raiders, and if they use TeamSpeak, I just wouldn't even like consider them.
I think the only thing that used TeamSpeak was when I was in a guild playing PlanetSide 2, and they were like the best PlanetSide 2 guild, where it was like they'd go onto a place and they just take everything over.
The thing I noticed with TeamSpeak, it's not as good as Ventrilo, but it's cheaper.
Well, the one thing that it's better at is organization, I think. Like as far as like you can have your guild thing set up, and there's different things for different like games and things all set up.
Well, you can if you rent your
It's just
server
like-
on Ventrilo, you can. But the problem is you have to set up. You have to do a lot of the work for yourself in Ventrilo.
Right.
Where you have to set up all your channels, you have to set up all your channels. You have to put all the passwords in. You have to do all the little fine tunings for each channel.
That other programs typically do automatically
nobody
for
got time
you.
for
they
that.
do for you. But
Yeah.
I like Ventrilo.
I'm like one of those people that I prefer to be able to go in and set advanced settings.
Well, and I think that actually comes down to the crux of what we're talking about now. Because Ventrilo gives you those options and it gives you that freedom, that's what makes it superior than to the other
it's that
ones
and it's,
because
it's,
you have the control.
Its latency times are far lower than most other. Like, because most of the time I'm looking, like, 'cause it'll display your ping too. to the
That's
Vent
nice.
server.
That is
That
nice.
is-
And-
and that's
I always
always
like
been a
that.
feature of Ventrilo.
And on average, when I was raiding with 20 other people, my average ping was about 19.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That is
Yeah.
really
Pretty
good.
So I couldn't really fault it. It's one of the better
That's true.
chat programs out there, and I like it.
It'd be interesting if they incorporated something like that onto PS4. Like if you could install like a Ventrilo
Like a Vent
app.
client or something
Yeah.
like that.
That would be really
that would
nice.
be something that honestly
They
that
won't
would
do it.
So no, because Sony would rather us use the party chat.
Now, here's the thing that's Sony has opened themselves up a little bit to like third-party
third-party
applications. I mean,
applications,
you know,
yeah.
that is certainly
Plex just
something.
came on there.
they're
Yeah.
definitely better about it than Microsoft is.
I'm
Because
sorry.
Microsoft,
Microsoft-
But Microsoft Party Chat's pretty good.
but that's because Microsoft
It's
is a
always been
software
very good.
company.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Microsoft does. If
And
that's
now-
why the
And-
dashboard is so
and-
much better than
And now
the
they have
PlayStation.
Skype. They don't really even need.
Oh, really? They bought Skype?
They bought Skype. Like
Oh yeah, they
5
bought
years
yeah,
ago.
yeah. Skype
I
has been
never knew
Microsoft
that.
specific
Forever
for
ago.
yeah
Oh,
years.
jeez.
Skype is still kind of shitty.
It is kind of shitty, but
It's like Google Hangouts is way better than Skype.
I'll talk about this later.
I'm not a fan of either Skype or Hangouts.
Well, Hangouts,
when it comes
you can do 8 people.
Hangouts is great, like for just like casual stuff.
Well, right. Well, like
for hanging out.
Yeah, for hanging
for
out.
like when we do like a fantasy football draft, all 8 of us get on there and we video chat and we like
Yeah, no, that's great.
nerds.
I'd actually use Skype for League of Legends. I used the Skype.
Really?
Yeah.
I have.
Well, that's because everybody had Skype, and not
okay.
everybody. We didn't have event server.
I have to ask this because I haven't. I've said this before. I've been considering looking into League of Legends, How much does that cost, if anything?
$0.
Okay.
Yeah, it's free.
How many
It's free to
people do
play.
I know that play that I would be able to play with?
If you got into it, I would get into it.
Dota's
Really?
better.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm gonna be. I have especially with my schedule and everything. I can't be I'm in a guild for a couple other games, and I don't play those games because I can't.
Objectively, Dota is better.
But I think there's less of
I-
a learning curve for a league.
I like League. I like League more
Actually,
just
I think
because
Smite has the smallest learning curve.
I like League just because I have more friends playing League.
Yeah.
And
All my friends switched to I started on League and then I switched to Dota.
I started on Dota back when it was on.
When is a Warcraft 3
And,
mod?
Yeah.
and that's the thing that's
I
really
forgot
kind of
about
happened
that.
with
Yeah,
me.
that's how Dota started.
Last couple of years, I still enjoy single player games in a lot of cases, but if there's a multiplayer component, there's the thing. My wife plays, and that's sometimes playing a single player campaign is time away from her, and sometimes that's okay, and sometimes I want to spend time with her. So anything that is multiplayer, like I've noticed in a lot of cases, Destiny is a good example. I really love that game. I really do. I had to walk away for a while because it's become too much like work for me.
It's exactly what they never called it.
Pretty,
But really,
they never,
made.
They never wanted to call it an MMO. I'm sorry, it is straight out everything about it. It's an MMO with an FPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Halo's FPS in it. It's really
But
what it
with,
comes
with
down to.
smaller
And
local
that's-
servers.
But
Yeah.
that's not beating on it. That's not talking it down. That's just
No, that's-
legitimately what
that's just
it
what
is.
it
Yeah,
is.
that's
Yeah.
calling a spade a
and-
spade.
exactly.
and I think it's a good starting off point for that type of an MMO. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, that is it's a
like
little.
you have PlanetSide 2, which is
That's a MMO.
much deeper.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean
That's got the
man.
massive part down.
The game is so it's so hard to.
gigantic.
It's gigantic.
I've
I played the
I've
first
so
one.
much
I
been
didn't play
getting
the
back
second
into
one.
like
Second one's
space
crazy.
sim combat. So like with Elite Dangerous, like I used to play like the XVT, like X Wings versus TIE Fighter, and like
Such a
those
great
games.
game.
20 years ago. I
GOG
played
games.
those. Oh yeah,
right,
yeah, they're
that's
all
right.
on there.
Yeah,
I've
they
been
are
looking
all
at
on there.
big. Yeah, that setup I showed you upstairs. Yeah, that's going to go to.
I need
those
a flight stick though if I'm gonna start playing those.
the
They,
X52,
Giggity.
the Sci-Tech X52 Pro I have upstairs. People are saying they found it on like Craigslist and stuff for $40-$50.
Really?
That's like That was a $200 flight stick when it came out.
That's a really nice flight stick.
That's a
Sci-Tech's
really
made
nice flight stick.
fantastic flights.
Well, they have the new one too. There's two new ones on top of that. There's the X52 Pro, which is basically the same layout, but I think a couple extra different features or buttons. And then there's another one as well, and I can't remember. I think I just can't remember what the actual name of it is. There's a lot of really good flight sticks out on the market. I'm not that hardcore about it. Like I like peripherals. I'm just one of those people that if I have a peripheral I can use for a game, I will.
I learned how to fly an Apache on a Sci-Tech USB 3D Gold and a keyboard.
Oh yeah.
baby.
Longbow Gold. Jane's Longbow Gold.
Can't beat that.
It pretty much taught you how to fly an Apache attack helicopter.
But yeah, no, there have been times.
And it was just as hard.
I've been looking because I got Elite Dangerous and I knew I had that flight stick laying around that I hadn't used in a couple of years. I was like, oh, I'll dig this up, and I'm like, oh, this works for Elite Dangerous out the box.
Yeah.
Like
That's awesome.
they have that. They have it. You can go and you mess with mappings, but I plugged it in and everything's mapped. And I'm like, oh, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
it was
Like
good.
the Ken Kniff voice.
Oh, yeah.
But-
This is sexy.
But yeah, no, it's but the people because I was looking at setting up and everything for it. It's just one of those things that I was looking around and everyone's like, oh yeah, no, I bought this for $50 last week off of Craigslist. I'm like, really?
Nice.
I've been half tempted to buy a second.
What you got to do is you got to get the Steel Battalion set.
I want that like you wouldn't believe.
I've played that game.
I will modify
It's ridiculous.
software.
Actually, I'm gonna
for,
look that
for-
up right
to-
now.
We
I'll
used to
get-
play that down at
I will hook that up.
GZG.
I will hook that up to an Arduino and figure out a way to set it up so it'll translate into any game I want. Because
Let-
God damn it, I want a Steel Battalion setup. I
Let
want
me
that whole
tell you,
goddamn rig.
that Steel
That would be
Battalion
badass.
game, like I've played that. Game is hard as hell.
Oh yeah, that
like
was one of those games that
I
if
blew
you
up
died
3
and you-
times
yeah,
trying to leave the hangar.
If you that was one of those games that if you blew up and you didn't hit the eject button,
You're done.
it wiped your save.
oh yeah, you're done.
How hardcore is that? That's fucking awesome.
And like you would get into this thing, and the to start up the mech, it was this long series of buttons and switches
Pre-flight.
and pedal moments,
Actual
and like,
pre-flight, yeah.
and you had this little tiny like the HUD was so backwards that like it was just way too much going on.
Oh, I know.
Like it was huge.
Same thing with the Apache game, because it took me 2 hours to leave the ground.
Oh wow,
That's Amazon.
that's wow.
When I was learning how to fly an Apache, it took me 2 hours to get off the ground.
See, like I
like
kind
real
of
life.
like games like that.
Yeah.
Because like Steel Battalion was frustrating.
Like a $300
trying to figure out how to get it out of
game
there.
too, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was
Just the
expensive.
controller.
Oh Jesus!
Oh yeah. That was one of those games where you were paying for that
Yeah.
that peripheral is really what it came down to. But yeah, I was
And the box was huge.
that same setup that I have set up upstairs. And for the listeners, I'm a dork. I took my office chair and
Oh, it's magnificent.
It really is.
It's goddamn magnificent.
Wonderful.
I'm sorry I blew up your ship.
I created mounting
Thanks,
plates
Icarus.
for my throttle and control stick on my office chair. So like you can just sit back and control it from the chair.
It is
By
literally
the
a
time I
captain's chair.
realized the heat damage was going up because I didn't think it would
When-
because I
when-
wasn't that. I didn't think I was that close to the sun.
when,
EJ flew
when
too
I
close
live
to the
stream, I'm gonna put the mic on that chair.
Good. That's amazing.
You don't
Wait,
really-
that's how you blew it up? You flew too close to the
Yeah,
No,
sun?
I got a little too
You need
close
the
to the sun.
chair
It was
to
all heat
vibrate,
damage,
though.
but the entire surface of the entire circumference of
Okay,
the sun was still in the
when
window.
you get
so I didn't think I
when
was
you
that
get a
close.
copy of that game, you are now Commander Icarus.
Done.
I like it.
I'm cool with it.
If you can get your chair to
And then-
vibrate, though,
and
that
then
would
I
just
tried
take
to
it
like
the
turn
next
around and
level.
haul ass away,
I
and
can
it
do
just
that.
kept going
You
up,
take
and I
the
couldn't get
throttle up
away.
and your
By the time I
chair's
realized it was
vibrating.
heat damage, it was too late.
crosstalk.
That's how you
also-
get the bitches too.
Shut up. Crosstalk.
I may have accidentally also turned off the shields. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
If you were in silent running, there were no shields.
That's exactly what that was then.
You son of a bitch.
I don't know what-
Anyway,
I was supposed
He's
to
like,
play-
oh, I have silent running on. I don't know what
You're
it is, but
flying-
it's cool.
okay. So
No, but I would turn it back off.
so here's the thing. We'll move off this topic because we could go off on this for hours.
Yes.
He was flying towards the sun.
But
a
that-
nuclear
He told
ball
me
of
to. He
fire.
told me to.
I definitely
guys,
told him to.
Bethesda has announced for the first time ever they will be
Yes.
doing they will be at E3 doing a presentation.
Fuck Bethesda.
Now that's out of the
I knew
way.
now that that's out of the way, we can talk. Look
Wait,
forward
this
to
isn't the first time Bethesda's ever
No,
announced.
it is.
Really?
It's the first time they've had an E3 conference.
yeah. Now there's a lot of speculation.
a conference. Okay.
Is it going to be Fallout 4? Is it going to be a new Skyrim?
Odds are it's going to be Fallout.
I'm
I
really
think.
hoping for a Fallout 4.
I'm
Because-
hoping it's a troll conference and they just come out and say,
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
We're just saying hi. That's it.
we got
wanted to come
things.
out.
We got
Give-
things in the works. Not for not for PlayStation, but
you know what would be really funny?
Given
is-
their dev cycle, they've bounced between Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Fallout,
yeah.
Elder Scrolls.
And
Yeah.
New Vegas was how many years ago?
New Vegas was Obsidian. It wasn't even them.
Oh,
Well, they didn't. Software didn't develop it.
Yeah.
So Fallout 3 was how
08.
many years ago? 08. So
And
almost
and
yeah,
Skyrim was
yeah, like
2011.
7 years ago.
so actually that kind of lines up pretty well. So yeah,
Yeah.
we could be seeing Fallout 4, which would be awesome.
It'd be
And
fantastic.
you know what? Here's the thing. I'm going to say this. I'm going to get shat on immediately. I would love to see them do like an MMO style, something similar to Destiny.
There's been talk that there's a Fallout MMO IP out there, but then it went away.
Oh, that was a couple years ago, and I think that because they couldn't come to terms as far as being able
Yeah.
to physically buy the Fallout franchise from Bethesda, like the rights to use the name. But I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. That was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But I
That-
feel like
that
if
went
they
away.
didn't design the Elder Scrolls online, why would they do a Fallout?
They didn't.
Online? They just published it.
They
didn't,
published
but
it. Yeah,
they
they
didn't
didn't
design
publish
it.
it. Yeah,
so
they
why
didn't make
would
it.
they design a Fallout or a Fallout MMO if they didn't even design?
It might not
the-
be an MMO. If they go online with Fallout, it could be like it just could be a persistent online world. Like
You know,
Destiny.
and I'm
Which would
okay
be
with
kinda
I'm
cool.
okay with that. That's the thing. I would like to be able to raid the wasteland with like 3 or 4 friends.
that'd be great.
Well, yeah, they could even just make it like
Well,
Borderlands.
they
I mean,
make-
Tim
yeah,
won't
that-
play,
that's-
but that'd be great.
I would love that.
Nope.
Here's the thing. There is a multiplayer mod for I think either Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas,
New Vegas.
that I want to get us to do.
That's fine. I'm in.
That'd be fun.
New Vegas was great.
I
I'm
New
not.
Vegas.
You may not have a choice.
if we do a video on it, it's just going to be me like
Sitting
get
back
in
and
and then
scowling.
just kind of not do anything because I refuse to play anything that has the Bethesda name
Lich
on
isn't
it.
going to leave the
He's-
starting town.
He's
gonna
really salty.
Is this all because Skyrim on PS3 was shitty?
For
Yes.
6 months, and they made and released DLC for other systems before they fixed the PlayStation.
I remember
3.
that happening.
They were
Yeah.
under contract.
So, fuck them. Fix the fucking game. It doesn't work. Fix the fucking game.
Lynch feels very,
He's very-
very
he feels very
strongly
strongly.
Yeah,
about
but I mean,
this.
Apparently
but
he doesn't care
yeah, but
about
I mean,
the PS3 Skyrim.
But right now at this point, it looks like most speculation is going to it's Fallout 4 or it's going to be a new Skyrim.
I figure it's going to be Fallout 4. I don't see another
Maybe it's a
Elder
new
Scrolls.
IP.
It might be a new IP.
And that's entirely possible. And frankly, if they were going to drop a new IP,
They would
E3,
do it
E3
like
is
that.
time.
like something like this, because everyone who knows anything about games is going to be like, "Holy crap!" they've
Best
never
case
done this.
scenario is
what
Fallout.
are they announcing?
Best case scenario is Fallout 4 and a new IP.
Rage,
Yeah.
Rage 2.
Fuck off. Rage was awful.
And they put so much
They
behind
tried.
that game. They
Again,
tried
they
so
just
hard.
published
You know
that-
what?
they
Here's
just
the thing.
published that, too.
Well, Bethesda owns id Software, ID Software. They could be.
Yeah.
It could be the new Quake.
Ooh, I would love for
Could
a new
be the
Quake.
new Quake.
Would
Wolfenstein.
love a new Quake.
Well, it could be
Wolfenstein.
They,
I
they
think
just
we're probably getting
they
a new
just
Dishonored.
did a Wolfenstein. They
did.
just it would
Which is
either be.
apparently really good.
I've heard.
I
I've heard
have
very
it.
good
I
things
the
about it.
little bit of I've gotten to play it. I love it.
A new Dishonored would be interesting. I really
It's about
like
that time.
I
Well,
liked Dishonored.
If they actually made Dishonored what they promised Dishonored would be.
Yeah, that was my
Okay.
biggest complaint with Dishonored
Here's
was
the
that Dishonored was not what they
It
promised.
was an
promised.
open world.
Here's the thing with
I think they
Dishonored, though.
promised open
It's
world. It
I don't
wasn't.
think it did well enough for that
world-ish.
to be for something like E3. Like I don't think that
Well, it's
carries
not going
the
to headline.
weight.
It's not going to headline the conference. But I think
Well,
it's
well,
definitely
might
gonna,
they
I think it's
announce
definitely
it
gonna show- I
possibly?
think it's going to be
But that's not
announced.
going to be their big announcement.
No, it's going to be either Fallout 4 or new IP, or for some reason another Elder Scrolls this soon.
But if we're talking about broken games, which Tim was bringing up, Ubisoft's CEO mentioned that Unity had what was it was slightly broken.
it had problems.
It that had problems.
God.
Like,
You
that,
think?
that
had
had
a couple problems.
that had problems like the Western Front had a couple of casualties in World War II.
Let me see if I can find the exact quote.
like the Russians sent a couple guys to their death fighting the Germans. You know,
Like a couple.
they only shot a couple of their own people.
Only a few. Don't worry about it.
I mean, has anyone heard anything about Unity or its now free DLC actually
Working?
working?
No.
I mean,
No.
has anything been
Not at all.
patched out? Is
Nope.
every time I look
game-
at it, and and the thing is, I want that game.
The game is barely playable.
I'm holding
with all
off.
the patches because it's playable now, but oh my god, there's so many bugs in that game that it just like
It's immersion breaking.
The best way I've heard it described is like
everything breaking.
yeah. The best way I've heard it described is fun but really broken.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
couldn't give a shit about the Assassin's Creed series anyway.
God, you are the most hipster gamer.
oh, just
he really is. He really is.
outrageous.
oh, that game's popular. Fuck it.
He was angry at Bethesda before, and
didn't
being
like-
angry at Bethesda was cool.
Cool, yeah.
I didn't like any. I just haven't liked any of the Assassin's Creed series. Like
The thing that gets
2 was
me
good.
with Unity is you're coming off the tails of a very successful franchise. Love it or hate it, it's a successful
Flag,
franchise.
Black Flag was one of the first games I bought for the PS4, and I
that was
loved
good.
It was a launch
And
title
so
for
then you
PS3.
release, the next installment in this franchise, and it's broken as hell. How?
because
does
it's a
that-
new engine.
But even still, like,
I'm not saying
understand
that's an
time
excuse.
constraints.
That's the reason. It's not the excuse why they shouldn't have had time to goddamn
like
fix
exactly,
it.
like,
but-
where's your quality assurance? Where is your beta testing? Like,
I-
how do you
I can- I can-
let something like that
Who
out the
got
door?
I can
Fire.
tell you. I can tell you where
Probably
their
at least
quality
several
assurance is.
dozen
It's the
people.
same place that Microsoft's quality assurance is. It's the same place that a lot of companies' quality
they
assurance
hired
is.
EA.
a few things were not perfect, is the quote from the Ubisoft.
A few
CEO.
things were not
Few
perfect.
A few
things.
things.
So here's where it is. It's out the door because it costs extra money to pay them, and that they'll just make it take longer for the game to come out.
And it's the
straight
biggest-
out. I'm telling you, that's what the problem is.
It's the biggest problem with games is the publishers are forcing the games out. Why is that window still up? It's the publishers are forcing the games out before they're ready because they want to make
Money. They want money.
money, release windows, everything. It's happened for the last 5 years, and
It
it's
really
getting
has.
worse.
It really is.
The Master
It
Chief
really, really
Collection,
is.
there is no reason that multiplayer should have been broken as it was.
Oh
and
no,
still is.
especially
You-
considering that
okay.
multiplayer is one of the
Yeah,
biggest draws to
you're-
Halo.
you're ta-
Especially
talking
since
about-
the multiplayer was already fucking made.
Like-
They're porting the exact same system over to a new console.
Yeah,
sounds like you really
that
feel.
was a major component of the
Disagree.
Halo games
Yeah, was
from
multiplayer.
day one, and that's one of those things you would have thought they would have tested extensively. And I mentioned this on the now unusable version of this particular episode.
That's cool. They never heard it.
Yeah, they originally announced that there was going to be a public beta for the patches.
Yeah,
For-
Bungie's-
for the
not Bungie.
matchmaking.
343 is
Yeah.
beta testing their
I don't
patches.
remember
out.
that conversation.
You don't remember anything.
You don't remember any of that.
ridiculous.
You were blackout like angry or
Well, no, I was blackout tired.
yeah. You
Yeah,
were,
guys,
you were high.
we
You
were
were high on
recording-
lack of sleep and paint fumes.
When
That's
we
right.
tried to record the
Oh,
episode
yeah.
last when we did the C3 episode, he was off of 45 minutes of sleep, probably about 5 beers in after having working for 12 hours.
Anyway,
he was the grumpiest.
Anyway, so
bastard
the
I've
thing,
ever
the thing with
Love it.
the thing with Microsoft patching was that they were going to release it as a beta test, then try to collect issues with that test, and then finally patch everything out. They postponed it. They finally scrapped it and said it's going to be an internal test.
Yep.
It's going to be an internal beta.
They did that same thing with
cheap. You
No, it's not even that.
do not make us do your quality assurance.
no.
They're not.
No,
That's what they changed.
Here's the thing, though, and beta.
Good, because we shouldn't have to do that.
No, it's not even a matter of.
They just want the
it
feedback.
Should
because
they want the feedback because frankly,
clearly
they're-
public betas don't do everything they want them to do.
The thing with public betas is it's a larger sample size. There are things that players in the world can and will find to
Find,
do
yeah.
that their quality assurance guys
Never even
will
think
never
of.
stumble
The
upon.
loot cave comes to mind.
and
right
literally
now.
as soon as it happens, there are going to be 20 videos on YouTube is telling you exactly how to do it and how to replicate it. That's exactly what it is they want.
Don't put up the cheats on YouTube. Spread it through like word of mouth and Reddit.
Yeah, seriously. We have to be covert.
That's why-
Yeah, it'll take them
about
an extra
finding
2
our
weeks to find
exploits.
it.
speaking of games that came out unfinished and broken. Battlefield 4 was one of those.
It's
I
still
feel
broken.
Yeah,
They
it's
just
still
they
broken.
completely
Broken.
ignored it. Hardline's coming out. Looks fun as shit.
Oh, I played the beta. It was really fun.
Yeah.
And I didn't really see too many bugs in the beta.
They've had time.
Well, I mean, the thing with
They've had lots of time.
Let's hope they learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
On the last Battlefield. 1, 2, putting out a polished beta is normally a good move because that will just get you salivating for the actual game. So in a lot of cases, some games their beta is this is what we're actually putting out. See how hard you can break it, or it's just a like for
it's a
instance,
stress test.
Destiny. It was a server load issue.
Yeah, it was a
So
stress
they were
test.
not beta testing problems with the game. They were testing server load, which
Yeah.
again is a good
They,
call.
they did that with Final Fantasy 14 and Realm Reborn.
Yeah,
it was
they
just
did.
it was just a server.
I think-
it was just a server load
Stress
test.
test.
Yeah.
It was a stress test, which they failed,
Yeah.
and then they
Horribly.
failed hard on
They
the launch.
failed with flying colors. Like
when I couldn't even make a character on any server at launch day
You're better
for
off.
a week. For a week.
You're better off.
I played it through level 30.
No, I did.
I had a ton of fun with it. It's just that like when I stopped, there wasn't any end game.
I'm like you with Final Fantasy and anything Final Fantasy and Pokemon. I don't.
You've never given Pokemon a chance.
Oh, you should give Pokemon a chance.
Pokemon is a good game.
It's a
Pokemon-
solid RPG.
I've said it before. It is one of the last
Man, I love
bastions
being
of
a turtle.
classic RPGs
It
that
is.
you can find out
It is
there.
a solid RPG.
It is a solid classic
well,
old school
here's the
RPG.
thing.
He admitted to me the only thing Pokemon he's ever played is the card game.
And I played that for like a week because a friend. Oh, I'll
should've
say
been
a
playing
friend.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
A girl I was eventually trying to sleep with played it. Now this is years ago, so she was the
You're
same
on a-
age I was at the time.
You're on a gaming
I'm glad it
podcast and
wasn't
you're
an
talking about
8-year-old.
sleeping with a girl.
Shut up. He's married.
a girl that plays Pokemon. So 14, 12.
No,
Card game.
we were both in our 20s.
Good.
Okay, so
A girl who plays games. I call bullshit on
20
that.
months?
you've met my wife. My wife used to own a game shop.
no,
she used to play Magic. She still plays video games with me. That's one of our biggest interests.
You have a DS, right?
She has.
No,
DS.
he doesn't.
Boop,
Go,
boop, boop.
Not a
go
3DS.
Do
You
yourself
can't
a favor.
afford it.
Go
Not
buy a
40,
copy of
you just
Pokemon and play it. You will not be disappointed.
I will point this out too. My entry into RPGs, and again, I'm going to get crapped on for this, is the Fallout series. RPGs before. Now I played 7. I played
Western
7 for a
RPG.
good few hours. I didn't like it.
Which
I
Fallout?
feel
Hold
like
on. Which Fallout?
I feel like we need to have a
3.
night.
You Fallout 3 is a very good example of a Western RPG.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It's first person. It's very
It's
skill based.
action RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The action RPG is the Western RPG.
Yeah,
Your
Yeah.
classic
It's
RPG
different
is going to
than a
be like
than a
turn-based, like
turn-based.
JRPG.
No, I played 7 for.
Although even still with like class like with a lot of RPGs now, like the not non-Western RPGs, a lot of them are going the more non-turn based route. Like
Yeah.
you see it in
Well,
Final
because
Fantasy,
people
you
just get
see it
bored
in-
with it.
well, no,
Type Zero's coming out.
The other thing with that is
for console.
And Type Zero's turn-based, right? They
No.
went back to the route. No, they
No.
didn't.
No, from what I've been seeing, it looks like it's live combat.
Pokemon is really
It
the last
might-
turn-based
might be-
RPG left.
It really
in
is. It
existence.
really, and I love turn-based
yeah.
RPGs, and it
I'm-
saddens me that we're leaving that era.
I think a lot of it is just based on the fact that turn-based RPGs were partially that reason because of the technology.
No, that is a big part of
Yeah,
it.
it was.
It's a big
I
part.
agree.
Now,
absolutely
now,
was.
if you want to talk about with that Western RPGs again, I don't have a lot of base. I played 7.
know
I
if it's
gave it a
technology.
good fair shot. I played 6-7 hours before I got utterly bored with it.
But I feel like we
what?
need to have a night where
7.
like you
Final
sit down
Fantasy 7.
and you play through some like classic, and I'm not even talking about anything even as recent as like 7. Like I mean like SNES RPGs, because you want to play some great RPGs.
Play 10.
Like don't play 10.
Don't play.
Don't play 10 at all.
Play Final Fantasy
like,
6.
You guys
Breath
get
of
to, like,
Fire.
Burn
Breath of
Brow.
Fire.
Secret of Mana.
Yeah, Secret of Mana.
Chrono Trigger.
Earthbound.
Chrono Trigger.
Play Chrono
Earthbound.
Trigger. Chrono
Oh.
Trigger first.
Chrono Trigger is one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
Chrono
or
Trigger.
best
Chrono
of all.
Trigger is a must
Chrono
play.
Cross is
Well, here's
also
the thing.
awesome.
I'll ask this much: are there any good classic RPGs on the Dreamcast? Because I have a Dreamcast sitting upstairs.
Maybe one, and maybe it's
Dreamcast.
I don't know, maybe 1 or like 1,000 of them because it's the Dreamcast.
PS2.
are they ports?
No, you
There's a
get-
couple
you can
classic
get the
RPGs.
ISOs.
Any of the Shin Megami series?
I have one of the Shin Megami Tensei game. Hold on a second.
Play Nocturne, get frustrated.
It is Nocturne. It is
Billy,
actually.
Billy and Ryan have been playing
Didn't they have
Nocturne.
Nocturne on PS2?
You have a copy of Nocturne.
I have a
and you
copy of Nocturne.
No, I'm looking at Shawn. He's got a copy of Nocturne, and you haven't played it.
Yeah, I played
Dude,
that.
play
I played
that game.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Let me see the back of that.
It's
real quick.
really good.
That's an original print too. That's not one of the reprints that
You
came out.
are-
Yeah, no, I have an original print as well.
I think it's an
Shawn,
original
game
print.
is rare.
Sean, you
This
are
one,
a bad gamer
I
for,
think
for having a copy
I
of that
literally
and
have
not
this game.
playing.
I
it.
did. No, I did play. I did
Okay.
play it for a good couple hours, but then I got this was a couple years ago. I did play
Dante
this
from Devil
for
May Cry's in
a
it.
good couple hours.
So
and,
good.
something came out, and I wanted to
geek
play
out
that
over
more.
here.
But yeah,
So Ryan
I still have a
played-
save for this somewhere.
Ryan plays Nocturne, right? And I'm like really excited that he's playing Nocturne because as much as I love that game, I've never gotten that far in it. Mostly because like I'll play it and then something else will come out and then I'll just kind of drop it.
And then
so I was really,
Dante will fuck you in the asshole.
so I was really excited when he was playing it, and he decided to go whole hog and do like the whole labyrinth and fight Metatron and everything like that. He does it. He completes it. He goes to the Tower of Kagetsuchi, end of the game, fights Kagetsuchi, and because he did the labyrinth, now he has to fight Lucifer. Can't beat Lucifer, puts the game down. I'm totally gonna load up his save and beat Lucifer just because I want to see the damn ending of that game. Like,
have fun with that one.
oh, it's such a hard
You're like,
fight.
oh, I'm gonna go in and beat Lucifer. Like it's
But
it's a
you know
fucking
what?
easy
No,
task.
and the worst part is like he couldn't beat Lucifer, so then he goes around and starts, building the team that he needs to beat Lucifer. Goes about, gets the demon that has Pierce, gets Metatron, teaches himself Pierce, and I'm like, dude, you're there. You're practically there. Like you have 2 people with Pierce, you have Metatron to debuff Lucifer. Like you can pretty much beat him right now. He's like, no, screw it. I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, fine, I'm just going to load up your save and I'm going to beat it because you've done all the work. Like,
Speaking of JRPGs, did you guys see the trailer for Persona 5?
I did.
No.
I did.
It's so gorgeous.
It really is.
It looks so good. It's a teaser trailer, but
It
oh my
looks
god, it
beautiful.
makes me wet in the pants.
We almost forgot to bring up Dragon Quest 8. Anybody?
And
I did see
I
that. Actually got announced.
I really cannot get behind the Dragon Quest
I
games.
can't
Oh my
get-
god! Some
the-
of the
the
Dragon
prob-
Quest 8 for PS2. That's the one, right?
the problem I have with I believe so. It
That
was
one was
for
awesome.
PS2 was what 7, 8, and one more.
I think it was
think?
just 8.
I can't remember, but the problem I had with Dragon Quest, it was because it was the character designs were
Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, Toriyama.
Oh,
and
I love DBZ. I don't
they
care.
looked all like DBZ
Yeah,
characters.
like, I'll
he's a one-trick pony.
I'll go Super Saiyan. I don't care.
No, see, I can't take it.
Don't hate.
I really don't think that his art style is all that great to begin with. And
it's the same for everything.
and I've seen it in Dragon Ball Z. I don't need to see it in Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest. Yeah, I don't need to see it again.
Like,
There's actually there is a Dragon Ball Z turn-based game.
Is there?
Oh yeah, it was for like SNES.
Oh, who cares?
And NES, and it was awesome. They were both really fun. They were really cool RPGs. They're Japanese. You had to translate them.
I brought this.
Look at me. I'm
another
cool.
great
I brought the-
SNES RPG
Alright,
you could play. Super Mario Legend of the Seven Stars.
That's
Great.
the classic.
Paper Mario.
Yeah,
Paper Mario's awesome.
Paper
yeah,
Mario
but
was
the better
good.
one is the Super Nintendo Legend of Seven.
Legend of Seven Stars was a
never played-
fantastic
actually never
game.
even heard of
It's
that.
awesome.
Great game.
All right.
Mario's good though.
So, I brought this up before, but that episode's not getting released. At a conference, an EA executive, I don't remember exactly which one he was.
Fred.
Doesn't matter. He said that games are getting too hard,
Oh, I read that.
and that's the most terrifying thing I've heard in my life.
Has he ever played any of the class like Mega Man, any of the old classics?
Has he played Ghosts and Goblins?
Yeah.
Like no.
Castlevania.
Here's what he said. The average player probably spends 2 hours to learn how to play the most basic
That's
game.
not true.
He's
No.
dumb. And asking for 2 hours of somebody's time, most of our customers have been between their normal family lives. To
No.
find 2 contiguous hours to concentrate on learning how to play a game is
Demon
just
Souls.
a big
No,
ass.
no,
One does not
he's
simply
confused.
play video games for 2 hours.
When you have when you have an executive of something as big as EA saying that, I get terrified.
and as you should.
It's
I can explain this exactly in 5 seconds.
go.
He's old.
He's talking about EA games, and it's 2 hours of trying to sign into their fucking servers because you can't remember your login for that one goddamn company. That's it. That's what it is.
And you can't pull from the EA servers
Nope.
because you still have to log into Origins anyways to get your information cross-platform.
And they're
was the
two
cheap-
separate logins.
Oh, that's even more horrifying. It was a chief creative officer.
Well, they.
Like that.
How old is this man? Is he like 87?
Who gives a shit?
Is
He's
he,
wrong.
I do.
No.
It's gotta be.
No,
Is he
no,
from
no.
Japan?
It was at the Dice Summit.
He's
is what it was.
20 years old and has never played anything from any of the old.
Yeah.
Ghost and Goblins.
Is he from
Oh,
Japan?
Man, that game.
No, he's EA. No, he's not from Japan.
that really.
Also, since the last episode didn't come out, we can shit on Nintendo some more. Nintendo, the new 3DS, it comes up every time we try to record something. The new 3DS is coming out in like a month or so, right?
I think it's already out.
Something
Actually,
I think it's out.
yeah, I
Is
think
it?
it's out.
I have no idea.
I think it's out.
I think it's
It
out.
might
yeah.
be out.
Pretty sure
There's,
it's out.
Just saw
but there's a
something.
regular sized new 3DS. It's not the XL. It's out in Japan, and it's only coming out in Japan.
Why would they do that?
And all the faceplates are for the regular one,
It's
and
just
not the new one,
It's just the
and not the XL one.
It's
I
just
should
the
say.
Japanese
do that?
size scaled.
Shut up. It was. Nintendo makes bad
They
decisions.
have smaller
Is
hands.
what I'm getting.
to be
at.
honest, I really don't like the
And
XL.
shoes.
Like, I don't like having that bigger screen. I it feels unwieldy in my hands.
it's because you have tiny lady hands.
I have huge hands.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them huge.
Okay, your hands are rather, they're equal to mine.
I have very large
Scale-
hands.
yeah, scaled.
For
yeah.
my
I
frame.
have small hands. I have no problem.
Like, I don't like having that giant thing. I don't.
Ah,
I'm
Giggity.
saying you never have that problem to deal with anyway, so it's fine.
Giggity.
Bazooka.
But I don't know why they would do that. I don't.
I don't
Because
get
it's-
I don't know
it's
why they make
Nintendo.
half the decisions they make.
It's Nintendo.
Yeah, no. Nintendo make a lot of calls on a lot of decisions that really specifically.
They make global business decisions based on the
Locality.
Japanese market,
Yeah.
and that does not apply to the rest of the world.
Didn't Punk just get 2 Majora's Mask 3DSs?
Yeah, he did. That's how I know it's out.
That
Because
son of a bitch.
But I didn't think that was a new 3DS. I thought that was just a 3DS.
I think that's just the 3DS.
Yeah.
oh, is it just
Yeah.
a 3DS? Okay.
Majora's Mask, though.
still really cool. Apparently, Majora's.
You know,
Mask,
I
they
heard
fixed it.
that I forget his name, the designer of Zelda, made
I saw you put that
made
up.
Majora's Mask because he didn't want to remake Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw
that was
I-
original. He just didn't want to redo. He just didn't want to do the Master Quest for Ocarina, which he wound up doing anyway.
I read that and I was like, Really, man?
I forgot
Like,
that
come on.
Majora's Mask is actually isn't that the only direct sequel in the
Yes.
Zelda? The Zelda timeline's one of the most convoluted things I've ever seen
It's
in my life.
probably second only to the Castlevania.
Because-
I'm gonna get stabbed for this, but I've actually never gone all the way through Majora's Mask.
You're not
I've
going to get
actually
stabbed for
never
that.
played
I've
Majora's
played
Mask
like
more than
maybe
15
an
minutes,
hour
yeah.
of Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
I don't like that game.
You're fine.
I'm gonna get shit on because
I don't
the only
like
time,
games where there's a time limit.
Yeah,
like I could
exactly.
never play through the first Dead
No,
Rising. I couldn't
that's
do
one
it.
of those things that kills me. And I had the same problem with Dead Rising. No, as far as any of the Link games, any of the Zelda games, I've played through. I haven't played through one of them. I've played a couple of them.
I played through
Not for
the
me.
first, the
I played
very
what's-
first.
every other one.
What's weird is that the first Legend of Zelda game is an alternate timeline. In the timeline, the original Legend of Zelda falls in an alternate universe to where if Link did not beat Ganon in Ocarina.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Wait, what?
Yeah. No, you're right.
That doesn't like who consolidated that? How many drugs did someone in Japan have to take to look at all of the Zelda games and can actually consolidate
it's not
it all
drugs. It's too
into
much
one
radiation
timeline?
or not enough.
I always thought that they were almost like reboots. Like I thought.
No.
They're all the
Every-
same time because Link and Zelda are reincarnated.
Exactly. Every
you find
basically
that out
every
Wind Waker,
Zelda
right?
game.
Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword is the first one in the timeline.
Every
'Cause it's
Zelda game
before
is
the,
a
it's-
different Link.
That's one I've never played.
Skyward Sword is like the forging of the Master Sword and like the beginning of the cycle.
So it's like the Matrix.
Sure.
No
So-
spoilers.
So I'm going to get absolutely shit on and knifed by the internet, but I've played 2 Zelda games legitimately.
Which ones?
The first one,
Okay.
which I have
It's
an NES.
fantastic.
I have an NES and the original gold cartridge. So
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
dude, you can buy
So-
a house with that now.
fucking love
Kinda
it.
can.
I'd have to find
Cardboard
it.
house, but
I have to find it. I also have an original SNES cartridge for Final Fantasy III, as it's titled in America.
Oh, nice.
Dude, you could buy 2 houses.
I had Chrono
But,
Trigger
um,
on SNES.
Weren't you
But-
just complaining about money?
Yes, but no, these things are things I don't want to let go of.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, he wants to wait 10 years to where you can buy 10 houses.
We'll start an Indiegogo campaign
But,
for
um,
you. It's fine.
But the only other one I've legitimately played was Ocarina.
Did you beat it?
No, I was drunk as shit.
That doesn't matter.
How long did you play it?
About 10 minutes before I was drunk
Ocarina is the best
because
one.
because
as far as I'm
we were
concerned.
playing.
Twilight Princess was really good.
was all right.
Wind
I
Waker,
liked it.
Wind Waker was really good too.
I still never. I want to play Wind Waker.
I actually, this is a lot of people
Although I hear
disagree.
Skyward Sword is better than Ocarina.
I have not played
I've been told.
I never
Skyward
played
Sword.
Skyward Sword, but a lot of people disagree. But I really like the second one on NES, the side-scrolling one where you.
Oh, really?
I loved it.
Really?
I fucking loved it.
What,
thought it was
the-
cool.
The Adventures of Link.
Yeah, The Adventures of
Yeah.
Link.
Yeah.
The music was really cool, and it was like it was
know,
interesting.
it's kind of
did
funny.
a lot of
I've-
things that they didn't do. In
I
games.
mentioned
Yeah.
earlier that I've been watching like a lot of AVGN, and I've watched that video recently, and he kind of said something that kind of struck a chord with me, where that game gets a lot of really bad. It gets a really bad rap
I don't even
because
get it.
it's so much different. It's such a detachment
Yeah.
from the rest of the series because it's a side scroller.
I still-
But what he said on it was, it's not fair to give it so much flack for that because at the time it came out, there was only the first one and that one. So they were experimenting with different play
that
styles,
was
and,
like
and that's actually really
The
that's
Turtles
legitimate.
game
Like
besides, it was like exactly the same thing as
Turtles
the
in
Turtles
Time?
game. No, the original.
no, the
Turtles
first
NES,
Turtles NES game,
which is one of the hardest games ever.
Ever.
created.
Oh, it's outrageous.
ever. That
like-
game's stupid
Okay.
hard.
My friends were talking about that they tried to go back and beat it with like Game Genie and using it on.
Like you can't beat it with Game Genie.
they
No, you
still
can't. You
couldn't
can't beat it
beat
with
it.
Game Genie.
And I've seen people like
That sounds like a
beat it-
balance issue, like a severe.
No, game
balance.
was stupid hard.
People have
Well, like
beaten it in,
Battle
20
Hard,
minutes
like
using
Battletoads.
Yeah, it
hard?
was-
No,
Battletoads
no,
hard.
it wasn't Battletoads hard because at least
Harder.
Battletoads is fucking beatable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
that game, the amount of stuff they would throw at you, and like you would kill all the enemies on a screen. You would scroll the screen over and come back.
They're
Everything's
all
back.
back.
Everything.
One thing that I've never agreed with that people have always said and they're wrong is that Zelda is an RPG.
No, Zelda is an RPG.
It is an action. It is an action adventure game. It is not an RPG.
It's an action adventure RPG.
I think
you
RPG,
you get health, but there are no stats.
RPG
What,
is,
what qualifies an RPG for you?
RPG is thrown around way too.
It is. It really has been
willy-nilly.
getting thrown around a lot.
Well,
What
if you take,
qualifies an RPG with me is it's a little bit of story.
Okay, stop right there.
You're done.
Yeah.
A little bit of story.
Yeah, you're done. Shut up.
No, well, no, hold on.
You're still talking. Stop talking.
Listen, I'm not going to take
Your
that
turn,
from someone
go.
who
Close your
owns a
mouth,
copy
there's
of
shit coming
Nocturne
out
and
of
has
it.
never played it.
No, I've played Nocturne. I haven't beat Nocturne. I've played Nocturne.
But no, it's
You go.
A Link to the Past, amazing. I was gonna say another direct sequel was the next Link to the Past one.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That game was awesome.
that game was awesome.
That game was really well done. I was very happy with it. I mean, I remember playing A Link to the Past and being super excited.
I'm not hearing anything you're saying because I'm still angry over a little bit of shut up. Get out.
You're lucky he acknowledges your existence at this point.
It's well, if you take it as a RPG as a role playing game, you're playing as
You're
a
playing the role of
That's
Link.
every
And-
game then, if you're going to take it
Well,
literally.
no, if
No.
Tekken, I play as Heihachi Mishima.
But no, Link.
I know what he's talking about because there's a passive story where you are really just kind of going through the motions and you don't have a lot of
Yes.
input. RPGs, you
At this point, there's a
frame and you
connotation.
move a lot more of the story around.
There's mechanics that are expected in RPG these days, and I agree with it. There's stats, skills, and at this point in time, branching storyline. Zelda's never had that.
That's the important one. Branching storyline is by that standard, to a very small extent.
Deus Ex was, by that standard, Deus Ex was an
Infamous
RPG FPS.
GTA 4 because there were a couple of options that would give you different.
that I'd agree.
Yeah,
with.
I wouldn't call that an RPG though.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to use that particular,
But yeah, if that's your
That's a
qualifier,
branching
then yeah, Grand
storyline,
Theft
but it
Auto
didn't have
5
skills.
is an
It didn't have
RPG.
skill set.
Yes, it did.
If you're looking at
Grand Theft Auto 5 had a skill set.
No, 4.
no, four.
Oh, four.
No, four.
5 did.
No, you're right. 4 did not have skills. San Andreas had skills.
Yes.
you could lift and get all big.
if you're looking at
Eat
the
cheeseburgers.
GTA
I would
single
still call
player,
that those RPG.
if you're looking at the GTA single player, the GTA single players are RPGs.
Yeah.
You're playing the character.
Yeah.
You are the character.
In what game are you not the
But
character?
what differentiates?
It's all about the immersion.
what
How much they make
differentiates-
you feel like the character.
Well, in Duck Hunt, you are definitely the guy who's shooting ducks.
Yeah.
But
But
you are him.
yeah.
Yeah, but
it's-
nothing you do changes his story. It's literally do you
I mean,
kill
it's-
enough
it-
ducks or do you not kill enough
it's
ducks?
your-
Right. It's
You are the
whether or not
story,
he gets
and
to eat today.
You are the you are
That's
in
a story.
It's how it feels. It's how it feels like how you are you are in control.
It is a
of the
level
story.
of immersion.
yeah.
It is. But what differentiates an action adventure game
From an action adventure RPG.
or no, just an RPG?
Well, that's why
Well,
there's
because
the
originally
differentiation-
RPGs were just turn based.
I always like. I
That's the
would call
differentiation between
Originally, that's
the
how it was.
the Western action RPGs to the JRPGs, which I have a problem with calling Western action RPGs and relegating the Japanese RPGs like that
To being
that
the
class-
oddball out.
to being
being the odd-
JRPGs.
which and where the JRPGs
You've brought this up
started
Yeah.
started the whole
So really-
RPG.
I think
Yeah.
that's just a global thing. Like if
It
you're
is.
in Japan, like a JRPG is an RPG and everything else is a Western RPG. Like
Whereas-
it just depends where you are.
Well, why not make the marker an ARPG instead of and then calling the Japanese RPGs RPG?
Because-
it comes down
because
to
we're not
would need,
Japan.
you would need to
people-
change everyone's mindset.
no,
That's
it's-
not
yeah,
gonna
it's
happen.
People
really-
don't care enough to,
it's
to
really
really
a
get
matter-
into what they're called.
It's really a matter of, again, what he said, locale. It's the difference between being Universe 1 and Universe A. Neither one of you want to relegate where you guys feel like a B. I mean, if we're going straight, like,
Oh, you're a B. Don't you call me a B?
going straight.
We're
to
A and you're
apartment.
one.
I see the Futurama episode.
See,
That's,
No,
exactly,
I
that's
had,
exactly what I'm using as an example. That's exactly it. There's literally nothing that differentiates between one universe and another. But it comes down to we don't want to feel inferior.
Yeah.
It was one person that called the JRPG a JRPG for the first time, and it just caught on. There's no real.
Because I think JRPGs really fit the Japanese style. I feel like that's more style than it is gameplay necessarily.
style game, but like
more
with Dragon's Dogma, it's technically an ARPG, but I feel it's more of like since it's a Capcom RPG, it's still a JRPG.
To be fair, it's a Japanese company,
This
so
is
it's
pretty off topic.
it's exactly a JRPG.
This is pretty
But it's
off
not
topic, but this is going to go down two lines for me real quick. Has anyone played Suikoden?
no,
Suikoden.
Or Suikoden, whatever you want to, however you want to.
that's Suicune is a Pokemon. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
If I can't pronounce it, I've probably not played it.
Suikoden.
Not only was that an awesome RPG, which you could have like 100-some characters in it, and it was really crazy. But what was really cool, if you ever played Metal Gear Solid, any Konami games that you had on your memory card,
Oh yeah, like you could.
Psycho Mantis would be reading your mind.
Oh,
and be
yeah.
like, I remember like playing it and be like, oh, so you play Suikoden, and I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yeah, Metal Gear incorporated what was on your
on your card,
Yeah, on your
into
card.
the game. That,
Such a great fight.
Kojima
Like,
was about 10 years before his time. When he
Oh
was
my
alive.
God.
And then, of
he
course,
was so
everybody,
was.
everybody does the thing where they like erase everything off their memory card, and he's like, I can't read your mind because you make it, you just do everything in the opposite.
You put the new Mad Catz card in there.
Exactly. you turn off vibration so he can't make a controller move. That's the best. He's like, put your controller down. I'm going to make it move, and he just vibrates it and it moves. It was silly, but it was awesome. Don't you glare at me.
That
How
was
does someone
such-
figure out how to put the controller in the other port the first time? Who the hell?
You know what? No, they actually.
isn't
It
it-
tells you in the game.
it does?
Yeah, I think if you call the colonel, he says, "Why don't you try switching controller ports?"
They've been doing that since the Atari.
And then Snake goes like the colonel tells you that, and Snake's like, "What? What are you talking
Yeah, I
about?"
love that they
Like,
break the fourth wall.
Switching,
that way.
yeah, they totally break the fourth wall
Also,
in that fight.
There's a point where you need to find the code to call somebody, and it's like, oh, check the back of the booklet, and you're like,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they've
What?
always annihilated.
and if you don't have the
fourth
booklet,
wall.
you're done.
yeah.
with that, I'm gonna call it. We're pretty much out of time. We went a little long this week, and that's okay because unfortunately I wasn't
We're
able
at
to.
time.
We're coming in an hour, so that's our
Yeah,
usual
yeah,
time.
yeah. Oh, that's true. That's
Well,
true.
feel pretty.
That's our intended time.
That's our intended.
We got to
time.
make up for last week.
We do.
we have to make up for like not having episodes.
Yeah, there are some things in the works to make things a little more.
There are indeed, don't worry.
To make things a little more reliable as far as episodes coming out. But until next week, I'm Shawn.
I'm EJ.
I'm Lynch.
Grease.
And I'm Nader.
Thanks for listening. Keep gaming.